Hey gang, if you are curious about Denver's country music scene, if you need plans for April 7th in Parker, if you've wondered how musicians create music videos, or maybe you're curious about Indiana's regional cafeteria cuisine, this is the episode for you. Jenny Shawhan joins me to talk about it all. JennyShawhan.com and Jenny Shawhan on Facebook and Instagram. Self-serving notice, I will be opening Jenny's video release party April 7th at the studio in Parker. That's Parker, Colorado. Ticket information is posted below. Come join us for some live music. She'll be playing with a full band. There's a full bar, and she'll be premiering the music video for Don't You Tell Me What to Do, which I have a part in. So come check out the video. Come check out Jenny Shawhan's full band performance, and check me out. I'll get to open up the show. My name is Alex Rhodes, and this is the aptly named Alex Rhodes Show, featuring independent artists, interviews, their songs, and sometimes even live performances. We talk about the art, the music, the deep stuff, how it all relates to marketing, and in the space between, we chat all around silliness. This show airs live each week on kpeo.org World Community Radio, Mondays from 7 to 9 Mountain, that's 9 to 11 Eastern, 8 to 10 Central Time, and 6 to 8 Pacific. But for you modern day listeners who don't believe in appointment-based entertainment, I edit the radio show to podcast every week, most weeks. Welcome to episode 8. This is the last episode for season 1, and I'm excited because I'm talking with country music artist Jenny Shawhan. Growing up in Mooresville, Indiana, and now living in Denver, Jenny Shawhan was influenced by her grandmother's hymns and her dad's love of country radio. She started playing piano at age 7, then she quickly discovered her voice singing in the school choir. After high school, she went to Nashville's Belmont University, where she began exploring her craft, gained professional experience, and started writing her own songs. Not long ago, Jenny Shawhan had an epiphany. It was deliberate and it was life-changing. That moment of enlightenment flavors every song on her new album, Don't Be Afraid. That was released July 2021. She says, I shifted my outlook. I started opening up to more ease and support instead of believing everything had to be so hard. Her newly adopted mantra couldn't have come at a better time. 2020 began with Shawhan facing life as a single woman for the first time since college. And like every other American, COVID put an end to socializing on any level. She says, I'm not saying I haven't had low moments, but I look at this time as one I took to rest, to write and surrender to what was happening. Now 40, Shawhan is looking at herself in a way that was impossible when she was a young music student in Nashville. Comparisons have been made from Bonnie Raitt and Melissa Etheridge to Alison Krauss and Dolly Parton, but Shawhan is no copycat. Her music is a blend of influences that she presents honestly and without pretension. Her most recent album, which we talk about, Don't Be Afraid, was produced by award-winning producer, engineer, steel guitarist John Macy. He's also worked with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Gladys Knight and the Pips, and Los Lobos. And John Macy enlisted veteran guitarists Justin Weaver from the Chicks, Wynonna, and Josh Turner, and Chris Lusinger, who's played with Garth Brooks, George Strait, and Randy Travis. Those are some names. And keyboardist Pete Wasner, who's played with Vince Gill, Alison Krauss, and John Prine. And Shawhan's rhythm section of bassist Alex Goldberg and drummer Ryan Elwood round out the artists on her new album, Don't Be Afraid. You can find Jenny online at JennyShawhan.com. And onto the Facebooks and the Instagrams at Jenny Shawhan. That's SHAWHAN. Let's get to the interview.
Don't be afraid.
Don't Be Afraid, Jenny Shawhan on kpeo.org, World Community Radio. Jenny Shawhan is right here with us. How you doing?
Hey,
Good to see you. Thanks for coming by.
good to see you.
Now, we don't play a ton of country on this program. Not that I have anything against country music, it just doesn't seem to pop up. So it's always nice to have a new genre come on. Tell us a little bit about who you are and where you're from, and let's dig into who Jenny Shawhan is tonight.
Tell you about my mom and them?
Yeah, my mom and them, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm honored. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Honored to be representing country music in Denver, Colorado.
All right.
Yeah, I'm from Mooresville, Indiana.
Nope.
John Dillinger.
I'm not familiar with either. You gotta fill me in. I'm not.
Whoa. Okay.
This is why I like the show. I get to learn stuff.
I think who played? There was a movie. Well, there's been tons of movies, but in the last one about Dillinger, I want to say it was Leonardo DiCaprio that played him. I could be wrong about that.
Wait, he's not the pilot.
No, that's Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, John Dillinger was a famous bank robber, and he, Mooresville was the town that was associated with his roots.
Okay.
And he didn't live long, and they caught him and all that. But
So is that the claim to fame of Mooresville, Indiana? Or is it Jenny Shawhan?
Well, out with the old, on with the new. We have a cafeteria by the Gray family. I went to high school with them. Gray's cafeteria is kind of a thing.
Okay.
It's just really good, like down home.
See, we had K&W where I grew up. Is that a
I've
thing?
never heard of it.
Gray's probably pushed K&W out of Indiana.
Interesting.
Did they have Jell-O in the little dishes?
Oh, heck yeah.
You gotta have that.
Yeah, with the fruit inside?
Yeah. I'll see. I don't care for that.
Oh.
Fruit stands on its own. Jell-O literally stands on its own.
They had everything. They had rolls, they had muffins, they had fried chicken, shrimp, pot roast, ice cream.
Was it one of the dispenser ice creams, or did they?
Oh no, it was all like in a line.
Okay.
Like you
go down the cafeteria line.
You see they've got all their categories, and you see what they have. They have their few main dishes that they rotate out, and then everything else is kind of like homemade and mainstay, you know, like the mac and cheese and the mashed potatoes and all that kind of stuff. But man, it was so good. My grandparents they didn't even live in our town. They lived in Indianapolis. So Indianapolis is the town, basic, you know, like Mooresville is a part of that.
Okay.
You know?
Little suburb of Indianapolis. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the cow and corn, if you can call it a suburb, like the little. We had one high school in my town, and but yeah, my grandparents would always that would be their thing. They'd come down at 4:00, you know, and do dinner at Gray's and get all dressed up and have their gift cards. Always give them a gift card to Gray's. And
now, was this a Sunday thing, or is this like during the week?
Oh, anytime.
We're taking off from the big city of Indianapolis, heading out to Mooresville so we can get some Gray's cafeteria.
Well, I think, you know, we live there too, so it's like, okay, we'll go to Gray's and then we'll stop
we'll
by.
see Jenny.
I guess we'll see the grandkids.
Now, tell me about growing up in Mooresville, aside from the cuisine, which sounds delicious.
Yeah. I was going to say, the guy, Paul Hadley, who designed the state flag for Indiana, that was my junior high school name. I went to Paul Hadley Junior High.
Okay.
So they named my school after the guy who designed the state flag.
Nice.
So
what's on the Indiana state flag?
it's like navy blue with a bunch of stars.
Okay.
And we were the Mooresville Pioneers, so our colors were like blue and gold, yellow, I guess. But yeah, it was small. It's a lot bigger now. Like we had a Kroger, which is like a King Soopers. You know, we had McDonald's and Taco Bell, Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
You know. I think the nearest Walmart was maybe in a town we played in sports, Plainfield, which was maybe 30 minutes away. Almost everything was about 30 minutes away, like Indianapolis, Greenwood, Plainfield, Decatur, all these places that were just around that area that we played in sports.
Now, did you play sports?
You know, I played softball.
Okay.
I played softball from kindergarten to maybe 4th grade.
Okay.
And I loved it, actually. Something just reminded me of that, like a couple days ago. Maybe with all the March Madness stuff, I just was thinking about sports, but but it was, I still remember the dirt, you know, the smells and the chants, you know, hey, batter, hey, you know, like, you better be alert or you'll be eating dirt. Eating dirt. I had a lot of fun.
Guys don't have those cheers as much.
Really?
Growing up and playing baseball now.
Oh.
You do the hey batter, but there's not as many, because I remember my sister played softball and they did a lot of the chants and clapping and stomping in the dugout.
Yeah, in the dugout.
That's where I spent most of my time, was in the dugout. I didn't see the field very much.
I played shortstop. I loved it. It was really fun.
So you're growing up in Mooresville, hitting up Gray's Cafeteria, playing softball, eating with your grandparents. Are you playing music at all then?
Not yet. Well, shortly after. This is where the well-rounded Midwesterner Indiana Hoosier thing comes in, where my parents are like, try everything once, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm in swimming lessons and I'm in piano lessons at maybe 7. Dance was real big. I had a dance, you know, jazz tap ballet, doing the dance recital thing. What else was I in? 4-H. 4-H.
Oh, you got to be in the 4-H club, yeah.
You know, every friend had a farm, and they're all riding horses and showing cows and pigs, and I'm learning how to gift wrap and make pineapple upside down cakes, you know.
Now, did you have a farm too, or
no?
You were more on the wrapping side as opposed to
I'm on the gift wrap instead of
showing livestock.
We lived across from a dairy farm.
Okay.
Probably like 100-acre dairy farm.
Wow.
You know, it was one of those things where everybody was knocking on their door to sell the land and, you know, make housing additions, and they just would not do it. And
because a lot of people needed to move in. That's there. I got my dad joke in for the night. I'm done. Continue. I apologize.
Everybody had a lot of land. We lived on a street where everyone would fly down it, you know, and it wasn't really a main drag, but people would go pretty fast on the street, and so we had to ride our bikes in the driveway. We had a pretty long driveway, and we had a big barn. The barn was like bigger than the house, and my dad parked his tractor and 2 riding lawnmowers, and he always had a Ford F-150 for, you know, working construction.
Yeah.
And I think we had 5 acres, and most of it he baled hay off of, you know, and we had a full garden with at least 10 rows of corn. And
What kind of corn?
oh God, that's a great question.
Silver Queen? It's my favorite of all the corns.
Wait, so what are the choices? I don't know if
I only know
told
one.
me.
I asked that like I'm an expert on corn. I have no idea.
You'd think I would be, being from Indiana, but I don't know if that never came up really, to be honest. I think it was like either yellow or white.
Okay. Yeah.
You know.
Which do you prefer?
I think anything with butter and salt on it.
There.
You know?
That's the correct answer, I believe.
But we'd always have, I still remember those little, the things that looked like corn that you stick in.
Yeah, the little holders. We still have those. And my wife and I had to go out and buy them. We were like, do they even make these anymore?
Okay.
They definitely do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we did it. We had corn all the time. I didn't even know what corn looked like off the cob.
If I didn't shuck it myself, I don't know. There seems to be some colloquialism in there. So.
I don't think we ever bought corn in the store. If we did have, my mom bought a lot of canned foods growing up. We'd have canned, if it wasn't from the garden, it was from a can.
Mm-hmm.
It was like green beans, just real like staple stuff like meatloaf, fried chicken, steak, spaghetti, and then maybe like some Chef Boyardee on the side there,
Now, before I came here tonight, I missed dinner, and everything you're talking about is making me very hungry. So, let's switch gears. Tell me about, so you're 7, you're trying everything once, except fried chicken and corn, apparently.
Once a week, yeah.
Where does music enter the picture? Are you singing a lot? You're playing piano around 7, you said?
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's an Indiana thing or if it was just my family. Everybody had a piano. My grandma's mom was a piano teacher. My grandma could read and play, and she taught her and her sister. And then on my mom's side of the family, not everybody, but a lot of the women could play by ear. So it's like on my mom's side of the family had just like natural, like they're all just like singing the church hymns and they're playing by ear, they're singing and playing. And then my grandma, when I go to her house, she'd always have like her hymnal out or like a Sunday school little song or something. So she kind of got me going because she just loved to sing and play, and the upbringing was just always in the church,
Mm-hmm.
So that was really like the first. My mom had a big record player, really old school, bigger than this desk you have here, maybe.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
I didn't even know what it was. I was like, what is that? The top opened up, and here's the, and she's got all the records, Sandy Patty and Carpenters and all these old
Sandy Patty
gospel records, man. And she played them at certain times. Like she played them during the holidays, or she'd play them when she's like cleaning house, or, it was very like she had to be in the mood to play her records, and I didn't really think much of it. I was just like, oh, cool. And then my dad would always have the top country station blaring in the radio, and so I grew up on like Reba and George Strait and all the people. I was born in '80, so everyone that was on the radio in the '90s, basically, 80s and '90s, and so between those two things and then going to church all the time, I didn't really start singing till later, like, because piano is just piano. Like, I didn't put the two together, really.
Mm-hmm.
But I did, like, I had an awesome grade school music teacher, Miss Holbrook. And she got us into like singing, "Wind Beneath My Wings" and like, Bette Midler. She kind of
Beaches.
Yeah, she kind of reminded me of Bette Midler. She'd come in, like her hair would be red, and then like the next month it'd be blonde, and she's just like sort of a positive role model, rock star, happy teacher. And I feel like she was my first influence as far as like, oh, music is cool because she's cool.
Nice.
Even though we were doing like the xylophone and just basic stuff in music class, right? But in my grade school, the way, I don't know, I think it's a little different now, but we had a one grade school, 2 classes per grade, maybe like 20 people in each class, and it was K through 6. So 1 hallway school with like the gymnasium cafeteria, which was the same thing. Like they set up tables in the gym during and you know, like one end of the grade school was kindergarten, and the next end was 6th grade, and you know, that was it. So so she was my music teacher for a long time, and I remember she cast me in this play. I was like the lead character in this little Christmas play. I played this girl Hillary, and it was funny, and I think it was pretty short, but I just like loved it, and like everyone laughed, and I was like, oh my god, this is so much fun, what in the world? And I don't even remember if I was singing in that or not, but I just felt like maybe her enthusiasm like got me.
And what grade was this? Somewhere between kindergarten and 6th grade on that hall.
Yeah, I don't know, it might have been earlier on, maybe like 3rd grade-ish or something.
So you knew around 3rd grade, like, there's something to performance of some sort.
Yeah, maybe. I guess I didn't know. Nothing was entering my mind. It was, I mean, you know, because we're about the same age, like, it would always be like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, everyone would be asking you that. And then everyone would be in a circle going, I want to be a firefighter. Or, you know, like, there were like 5 things to choose from.
Yeah.
You could be a firefighter, a doctor, a lawyer, you know?
Yeah.
Nobody was like, I want to be a rock star.
I want to be Reba McEntire.
I don't know. It just didn't, you know. But then more instruments came along. Like junior high was like, oh, hey, there's other instruments. You want to try out to play violin, or you want to play, you know, the trumpet? There's marching band, there's orchestra, there's all these things. So I tried all of it.
Okay.
And so I did like violin for a little while, and I did trumpet for a little while. And then I think you could be in both. You could be in orchestra, band, and choir in junior high. So I was like, cool, I'll be in all of that. And then I was like, oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah. Especially if we're a small town, that's a lot of art options.
Yeah. So then I had a middle school voice teacher who was just the sweetest. And she had actually gone to Nashville to try to make it. And she ended up getting married and having kids and moving back to Indiana and being a teacher so that she could, you know, have her family and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And she was always really encouraging. She was like, she just encouraged me, you know. And then, so I kept with choir. So I knew I could sing a little just because I was in choir. But it didn't like super dawn on me about singing until I was in high school, going along with the choir thing, because boys were spotlighters, competitive choir is like the thing. It was in our town.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even think about it. I was like, yep, sign me up. That's what I do, you know. And then I didn't make the choir. I have that, you know, Michael Jordan story. I didn't make the choir I wanted to make. And so I started going, I got to prove myself. I got to show him that I belong.
Got competitive.
I got to show him that I belong in this choir. And so I'm in the girls' choir, and I'm like, just like, okay, it's time to start singing solos and show them that you can really do this and you belong in that choir. So I started singing solos, and all the while I was singing in church too. Like they would let me sing solos, and we'd have like youth group and all these things where we had an opportunity to put on shows for like church camps that we went to and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like a little girls quartet for a little while with some of the girls in the youth group, you know. And so I was singing in church, and still my grandma just was a huge yay go.
Yeah.
Would do the thing, and my dad kind of saw that, and my dad was like, oh, well, why don't you come over here and do this, you know, Jimmy Dean Country Showdown contest, or, you know. And so he'd be like picking out songs on the radio. Oh, I think you could sing this song or that song. And so I just started learning everybody's songs, you know. I'd copy everybody on the radio, and then everybody would say, oh, you sound just like Reba or Shania or whatever. I'd just copy everybody and learn everything.
Yeah.
You know, anything that was on the radio. Martina, Sarah Evans, Shania. My dad even took me to a studio one time, and I think we got like the karaoke tracks, because back in the day where you could go get the tapes and you'd have to know what key you'd sing it in, because they sold karaoke tapes in that key.
In the key, yeah.
And so you'd go, like even the Christian bookstore, if I wanted to sing a Christian song, like my mom's favorite song still to this day is like El Shaddai by Amy Grant. She still remembers when I sang that at church. And
This is what parents do.
Yeah, we went to the next town where they had the Christian bookstore and got the tape in the key or whatever, and that's how they did it at church. Like, okay. We'll play, you give us a tape, we'll play it, and you sing. And that was pretty much, I mean, my entire, until I got to college and found people to play for me, and then started learning how to play for myself. Like, that was it, you know? That was like, okay, figure out what key you sing this in, and buy the tape, and don't change your mind.
Yeah. Now, I envision your parents like waiting for you to come home and popping that tape in the boombox and just hitting play when you walk in the door, and they're like, all right, go.
Go, no.
That never happened.
It wasn't like that. But I did, like, you know, I had a little boombox, and I don't think I got a CD player until I was in high school, you know. But we try to record, you know, how you have the tape, and then you try to record the radio, or you try to record the thing, and it's a different world now, kids.
So you go to college, and where did you go to school?
Belmont.
So did you have to audition to get into Belmont, or how did that work? Did you know what you wanted to major in?
Yeah. You do have to pretty much audition for any college. For a voice major, you have to audition, do a voice audition, or to be in the music school in any, I think, 4-year degree program, you got to audition. But yeah, I went to Missouri for a year, and that's a whole side story. But ended up at Belmont because I knew that's where I wanted to be. And you have to do 2 years of classical voice, or you did when I was a student. You start out with like the classical training, and then you do 2 years of commercial training. And for anyone wondering what commercial means, it just means not classical. So like pop, rock, country, anything that, you know, you kind of hear on the radio versus like opera music, you know.
Gotcha.
And so
what's the audition process like? Did you go in with your tape in the key of...
Did I? That's a great question. I'm trying to remember how we did that. I think so.
So you've got El Shaddai, Amy Grant.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, like my high school coaches and stuff helped me pick out, because I think they guide you on repertoire.
Okay.
Like a certain... Maybe you pick a Broadway piece that showcases your range, or you pick a classical piece, or I think it's, maybe you pick 2 that's like classical-ish and commercial, and you showcase whatever you think your strongest skills are. You make sure that it's like a popular tune that they know, and then that it showcases what you can do. You know? So I think that was, it's been a while, you know, but I think that's pretty much how it went.
Let's showcase your voice right now with a song on the radio, and then we've got a show coming up. You have a show coming up. I get to play in it, so I'm excited. When is the show and where?
April 7th, and it's at the studio at Main Street in Parker. And it's the video premiere show of my music video, Don't You Tell Me What to Do, which stars
Don't tell her what to do.
Stars you and our friend Ashley.
That's right. I'm in the video, and I get to play in the show. Well, let's take a listen to Do You Still Love Me, Jenny Shawhan, and we'll be right back.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey guys, this is Chesney Claire from Las Vegas, Nevada, and you're listening to KPEO World Community Radio, Toronto, Canada, and KYBN Radio.
Your future favorite songs played here. This is the Alex Rhodes Show on KPEO.org, World Community Radio. Do You Still Love Me? Jenny Shawhan on KPEO.org, World Community Radio. Thanks again for coming by. This is fun. It's good to talk.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, Do You Still Love Me is off of your most recent album.
It is.
And what's the name of the most recent album?
Don't Be Afraid.
don't. I am not afraid. Are you afraid?
Every day. That's why I wrote the
But you
song.
get up and do it anyway. That's awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about, we mentioned there's your big show's coming up April 7th in Parker. And it's a video release party.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the video and the song and where this all originated.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was real fun. I mean, you helped
It was
me-
really
you
fun. I got a
helped make
drink
it fun.
thrown in my face in this video.
It was kind of amazing. I didn't, the first, with the album and everything, the way that came together, we did a video for the title track, Don't Be Afraid, and just a lot of prep time and everything went into that. But then when it came to this one, I had Shaughnessy, the videographer, reaching out, and it was just kind of right place, right time. A friend referred him, and he said, hey, I'm looking to work with some artist, and I'd like to offer this opportunity to shoot a video for you. And I thought, well, hot dog, because we had just done the Kickstarter and, everything for the album, and the budget was already, had already gone for all those things. And here he comes just saying, hey, I'd like to, work with you. And then the cast came together the same way. Everybody was like, yeah, cool, I'm in. And then Ashley, who played your Water in the Face co-lead, is a roommate of a super fan. And she just mentioned it, and she was on fire about it.
Yeah, I remember when you reached out to me and said, hey, I'm shooting this video. I was like, wait, I get to be in a music video? That sounds fun. So I think, when you're able to reach out to people with stuff like that, it is like, yeah, that sounds like it'd be interesting.
Yeah, it was really fun. And I think everybody, maybe gravitated towards that enthusiasm. And that was the first time I've wrangled like 30 plus people, to get in a room and do a video together,
Well, and I think this is an interesting point, because if you're on YouTube or any of those platforms, you see people with videos, etc., and this was from a grand scale, not a giant project, but all of a sudden you do have 30 people involved in a project, and you're managing all of it.
Yeah.
And working with Shaughnessy, the videographer, working with the venue to be able to get it shot. We had multiple locations. You have multiple people in this storyline for this video. Did you freak out at all?
Actually, I think almost everything went off without a hitch. The only thing was like, I don't know, having to cancel an order for lunch for Chipotle because they wanted to deliver it right when I ordered it, which was like the night before. So, so our friend Kate came to the rescue, and I think that's how we got lunch. She ordered from somewhere else.
I think it was Illegal Pete's.
Illegal Pete's. There you go.
Yeah.
It was a shameless plug for Illegal Pete's. That was awesome. But yeah, it was, the song itself was fun because my band was playing a show. I think a lot of my fans already know the story now, but my band was playing a show at the studio, which is the bar we're having the show at.
The gig. The studio in Parker.
Studio, and that is where we shot the video.
Yeah.
And my band was playing there during COVID, and in the fall of 2020, the band had left, and I went to get our check, and just a random drunk patron started kind of hitting on me and giving me hell for wearing a mask, and and I was so mad. I was like, where do you get off? I was like, you're doing your thing not wearing one. Let me do my thing and wear one,
Yeah. Live and let live.
So that's what inspired the song, and my co-writer Phil just had a good time helping me write that.
Phil Jason
Stone.
Phil Jason Stone.
Yeah, that was fun, and it's been fun to perform, and And people, I didn't realize, you know, people resonate with it. People resonate with honesty, I think, you know. And I think as I find my voice and what I really want to say, you know, it comes out because, you know, it's a journey with that. You know, it's a journey with, oh, how do I really feel about this? Or, oh, something made me mad, and what was that? What triggered me? And can I put that in a song? So that part of it makes it fun for me, you know, to see people laughing about, did your mama drop you on your head, and that kind of thing. Like that, it's fun for me. But yeah, so that's what happened, and then I reached out to Ralph, who owns the venue, and I said, hey, this is the story, and we want to do a video, and how about shooting in here? And he was like, oh yeah, that'd be great. And then we did the video shoot, and we had a good time, and everybody there, all the Shaw fans.
The Shaw fans, that's right.
That's Alex's claim to fame. He's gonna copyright trademark that. Was like, you know, hey, what if we do a video release party? And so that's how all this happened, and I've been working with Ralph ever since. And I realized too, like, oh, here's where the, you know, here's where the work really comes in. It's like planning the show and
and so people are going to come to the show, there's going to be music, and you're going to launch this video.
Yeah, we are. There's going to be some new songs in the set and a full band show. Not every show is a full band show, but this is going to be full band.
Would it be the Shaw Band?
Shaw Band. Shaw fans come to the Shaw Band show. Not to be confused with banjos.
You have to tell me to stop, otherwise.
Yeah.
So you're at this bar, this guy comes up and tells you, he's giving you grief about wearing your mask, and you're saying, don't tell me what to do. The song is born. You released this album. When did you release the album?
July 2021.
July 2021. You released the title track from it. Or not the, yeah, Don't Be Afraid, the title track. Tell us about the release process and how that all works.
Yeah, with the album.
Yeah.
Well, for indie artists, you just kind of release. You go on CD Baby, you pay the fee, and then they put it up when you tell them to. Usually after 2 weeks.
So Columbia Records didn't really bust their hump on this one.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. Columbia, we're looking at you.
Yeah, it's, I mean, you know how it goes. It's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do, and how am I gonna do this? And then you end up doing whatever it is you're able to do, you know. And every time you do it, then there's more knowledge as to what goes into the next one, you know.
Now, do you have like a set date or how does it come to be? Are you like, oh, I've got 5 to 10 songs, and so I'm gonna put this together, or are you like, by this date I will release an album, and you back into all the things that need to happen?
Yeah, well, this was my debut album, so I've been wanting to make an album for a long time. I've been doing full-time music in Denver, and when I say that, it means pretty much every corner of every bar and country club and winery and wedding, you know, teaching lessons and driving for Lyft and just everything. But yeah, so I, when the pandemic hit, it was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll go do the things I've always been wanting to do, like practice and write and sleep, you know, and so then it just was like, I knew it was the time to make it, you know, and John Macy, who produced it, I talked to him about it, and we started the Kickstarter, and every every fan that's followed me, one email sign up at a time from all my 3-hour solo gigs around town, came out to support, the Kickstarter, and it just came together. And I think the 10-song thing, there's 10 songs on there, and I think, I'm not sure how we came to that. I think it could have been a budget thing, where it was like, okay, well, this is how much each song is going to be, and this is how much, kind of gauge that way. And kind of getting them to be like, okay, this has to go on there. Okay, this kind of follows a certain theme or a vibe, Because there were songs that I had that I wanted to record that I thought, well, maybe that just doesn't fit this record, So we ended up in this past January recording 5 more singles, and so those are in the recording process right now. And as to the plan for those, that's still
up in the air.
That's still being determined.
New music to come. That's
whether it's an album or singles. We've gotten it started for whatever's coming next, and so some of those songs I was planning on playing on this show, to give everybody something new. And you and I are going to do a duet.
That's right.
Thing.
A duet-ish thing, yeah.
And we've been working on a song together too, and I'm excited about that. I'm excited just about continuing on and trying new things and having fun. This show, I think I want it to be different than the release show. That was such a mile marker. We finally did it. It's like the first album and the big show for it, and so now it's like, oh, what now, brown cow?
Yeah.
and going, okay, well, what do we want to say? What do we want this to look like? And so it's kind of taken on this, maybe more lighthearted, fun, as all artists do, evolve and write about what's going on in your life. And so I'm excited,
Well, let's take a listen to this very fun song called Don't Tell Me What to Do. I'm gonna move it up here to the top. This is Jenny Shawhan, Don't Tell Me What to Do, on kpeo.org. Broadcasting live from KYBN, Mountain View, California, and the mile-high city of Denver, Colorado, this is KPEO World Community Radio. You're listening to The Alex Rhodes Show.
You talk down to me, try to make me feel small. Smart ass Mr. Know-it-all. Shame and blame is your middle name. Judging me all up in my face. Don't you tell me what to do. You don't know me. Don't you tell me what to do. Where do you get off? How dare you talk to me that way? I can't believe you think it's okay. Don't you tell me what to do. Did your mama drop you on your head? It's like you didn't even hear a word I said. You can have it your way. Go on, find your own beat. You do you, let me be me. But don't you tell me what to do. You don't know me. Don't you tell me what to do. Where do you get off? How dare you talk to me that way? I can't believe you think it's okay. Don't you tell me what to do. something else. Well, I don't have to take this shit, so go and yourself. Don't you tell me what to do. You don't know me. Don't you tell me what to do. Where do you get off? How dare you talk to me that way? I can't believe you think it's okay. Don't you tell me what to do. Don't you, don't you, don't you, don't you.
Don't you tell me what to do, Jenny Shawhan. That was Jenny Shawhan on kpeo.org. It's Monday night. It's the Alex Rhodes Show. We do this every Monday from 7 to 9 Mountain. And tonight we have Jenny Shawhan talking to us for an hour about music. Tell us about the country scene in Denver.
Well, I'm learning to be a part of it,
All right.
you know.
Is it a tough thing to break into? Are people friendly?
I think in general the music scene in Denver is very supportive. I mean, you would agree with that, right?
I would completely agree.
There's a lot of musicians here, and everybody's super friendly and willing to like refer you to people or places to play, or you know, we come to see each other's shows and we buy each other's CDs, and you know, we have Durango Songwriters Expo that comes through every October, you know, and that's a great resource, you know. I don't know if there's, I honestly don't really know. I mean, I do too. There are people that sing country music in this town. I mean, there's Buckstein, right? There's Eric Golden. He's traditional. There's several bands that do country cover stuff, like the Country Music Project. And
And what kind of venues are those folks playing? Is it the Rose,
oh yeah, the Grizzly Rose.
the Grizzly Rose?
Yeah, well, there's Ryan Chris. There's my buddy Scott. Blanking on Scott's last name right now. Union Gray. You know, kind of outlaw country, I guess.
Gotcha.
But they, like, he'll play the Western Stock Show, and they'll play like the bar scene. They'll go up into Wyoming. You know, they do private stuff for anybody that wants country for their wedding or something like that.
Gotcha.
And you know, Dirks has his new club. I checked that out a couple of weeks ago. It's at where Lodos used to be.
Okay.
And it's a bar that wants to feature country and rock, but I think they've got the party crowd going in there. So like when I checked it out, they had a 90s band playing that night. So it's not exclusive to country.
Okay.
Whiskey Row is what that's called.
Because Denver's got an interesting scene where there is a country scene. I mean, Denver's, the stock show is here every year. It's a big deal.
Sure.
But then it's also this sort of burgeoning new city, so you get a lot of this indie rock and some folk. But as soon as you get outside of Denver, it's all country music.
That's an interesting thing, because I just discovered, because I was looking for a keyboard player the other day, I discovered that there's like a Country Music Hall of Fame for Colorado artists. which I was unaware of, you know. So I'm. It's funny because I think because I've done so many genres and I've done all sorts of gigs and been in all sorts of bands that it wasn't like I've just focused on where all the people who are playing country, you know. It's just, you're just kind of out in the scene and like it's a small town, you know, so then you kind of know everybody who's playing, you know. But yeah, that's a great area of opportunity for me, I think, you know.
Well, I want to talk to you about something because I have everyone fill out a form before they come on the show, just things we can talk about. And you mentioned that you are left-handed. And I just wonder, you know, life as a witch.
I did not know this. Tell me more.
Oh yeah, back in the day it was if you were left-handed, they just immediately considered you were a witch.
Because you're from North Carolina. You know all about the witches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm watching you hold this guitar here, and you're holding it like a non-witch, a normal person. How does that work? How are you left-handed but you play guitar
Right-handed.
Right-handed.
It's really, I mean, I played piano up until, you know, I went to college, and then I was in like campus ministries and stuff where we'd have like, you know, we'd get together and it was like we're all at somebody's house and singing the Kumbaya songs and stuff, and all the guys play guitar. And I was like, oh, that's cool, I want to do that. And then one of the guys was like, yeah, I'll give you some pointers and get you started and show you some chords. And I didn't have a guitar at the time, and so I just started learning what he taught me because I was borrowing guitars to learn guitar.
Yeah.
And then I came home after my freshman year of college, and I told my dad that, you know, I wanted to play guitar. And so I got a guitar, and I got this guitar.
Nice.
And that's how it happened. I just like had already started learning it right-handed because that's what was around. And so I just started taking lessons and I never like pursued a left-handed guitar because I just started right-handed because everyone else was doing it that way, you know. And it never like was an issue that I know of, you know. Now when I like, you know, experiment with it, it feels really weird.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, I was just trying to think about playing the opposite way for me, and that would feel really strange.
Yeah.
It's like putting your brain on backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I wonder if it's not like I couldn't, you know, but I think it just was what was accessible at the time, you know. So.
Well, do you mind playing a song for us tonight?
Sure.
Awesome.
Sure.
What song do you want to play?
I know we talked about a couple of songs on the record. I wrote this song for my sister for the record. It's called Come On Home. And yeah, my sister is, I'm a Leo, she's Aquarius, she's like my opposite. And we're like very similar and very different. And we're, I guess, what's the best way to describe it? Like when she's around, we're like, you know, super on, you know, and then like there's moments where we go off and we're very independent. We're 4 years apart, so I think, you know, when I was going into college, she was going into high school, you know.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like we've had so much time like together and so much time apart, you know. So it's not weird to like go stretches of time where it's like we're gone from each other, sort of. Anyway, this is called Come On Home.
Love it.
Singing songs that my daddy likes to hear. We send away and another sip of beer. It's too late now to go out anywhere. Crack the old door, let in some new air. It's been a while since I heard your voice, and I really miss you. Hope you're doing alright. The days are long when we're so far apart. I want you to know you're always in my heart, my sister. Oh, sister. Where do you go, my sister? Oh, sister, please come on home. Come on home. There's no money that could ever take the place being here beside you, looking face to face. Open my mouth, but the words stay in. This is your journey, not mine. You're walking, my sister. Oh, sister. Where do you go, my sister? Oh, sister, please come on home. 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 Sister, come on home. Come on home. Come on home.
Jenny Shawhan live in the KPEO studio. Come on home. I got two things for you on that song. One is, we'll do voice lessons later. You can teach me how to do that. I just ruined it. But it's amazing how you can make that roll so high. Secondly, as a father of two little girls, that is awesome. I would love to hear one of my daughters sing a song like that to the others. So thank you for sharing that with us.
That's really sweet. Thank you.
Jenny Shawhan, April 7th at the studio in Parker. And she's got a heck of an opening act. This guy named Alex Rhodes.
Alex Rhodes Show. Not to be confused with any other Alex Rhodes.
That's right. And it's the video premiere of the song Don't You Tell Me What to Do, which we played tonight. Is it JennyShawhanMusic.com?
It's Jenny Shawhan.
Shawhan. SHAWHAN. JennyShawhan.com. Facebook and Instagram. Same thing. Thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it. And that wraps up my chat with Jenny Shawhan. I hope you'll join us April 7th at the studio in Parker, Colorado. Links for tickets are in the description. Next week, I'm excited to host Longmont singer-songwriter Tim Ostiek on kpeo.org live Monday nights from 7 to 9 Mountain Time. Or you can tune into this podcast on YouTube or your favorite podcasting platform. I really appreciate you listening. If you'd like to give some support to the show, give us a big thumbs up or a 5-star rating. Drop a comment in the comments section. I appreciate all feedback. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you back here next time.